If you're looking to make a career switch, then you are in luck, because in this video I'm going to talk about a quick and easy way to explore 30 different careers on Coursera, one of the largest online learning platforms in the world. We'll talk salaries, job availability, and most importantly, the course tracks that can help prepare you for a career in those fields. We'll look at everything from data analyst, project manager, software developer, digital marketer, and many more. I'll also talk about which careers might be the easiest ones to break into. And most of the courses you'll see are offered in partnership with some of the best companies in the world for these careers, like Google, Facebook, IBM. So if you decide to pursue a professional certificate through any one of these courses, it'll definitely stand out on your resume. So let's get started. Now, if you're not totally familiar with Coursera, the quick explanation is as follows. They partner with over 300 leading universities and companies to offer 7,000 plus courses in a variety of fields. Now, you have the option to learn for free if what you're after is purely just education, your knowledge of a specific subject that you're interested in. You also have the option for a small fee to earn a verified certificate. This means when you complete a course and all the assignments and the quizzes and you pass, you earn this certificate. This is valuable if you want to prove to a prospective employer that you had completed some coursework and you have some baseline knowledge in a specific subject. Now, if you want education to be of most benefit to your career, this is an option I would strongly recommend. I say this because you can tell an employer that you've learned a lot about data analytics, for example, but unless you have proof like real-world projects, experience, or verifiable education, they won't have much of a reason to believe you. So this is where verified certificates come into play. Now, certificate fees vary by course, but if you want the best value for your money, I'd recommend Coursera Plus. This is a subscription, either monthly or yearly, that gives you access to most courses on Coursera, with the inclusion of a certificate for whatever courses you complete in the time in which you are subscribed. Make sure to check out the link in the description below to learn a little bit more about that. So let's talk about the careers. So when you get to a site, there's a link to career tracks, and again, this will all be in a link in the description below, but you'll see what's available by category. Find a career that works for you. We've got software engineering, business, or software engineering and IT, business, sales and marketing, and data science and analytics. And as you can see here, for each of the career tracks, it will show you the median salary and the number of jobs available in those fields. One quick note though is that you should not interpret these data points as if you were to complete these courses and earn the certificates, that you would be guaranteed this salary, or even guaranteed a job in the first place. A lot depends on prior experience, and probably just as important, your ability to network. Simply put, some careers are going to be more difficult than others for you to get into. But having verified certificates serve as proof points to prospective employers that you have a legitimate interest in a certain field and some baseline level of knowledge. And if you're curious how it's helped me, I've actually got a video where I've explained that in a little bit more detail, how it helped advance my career. And although it wasn't a major career switch, it did help me land my first six-figure job. So let's go through the categories: software engineering and IT. Here you'll see a variety of roles, and you'll want to take note of the partner companies that developed these courses. You've got Microsoft, Google, IBM. Meta also stands out here. You'll see Meta quite a bit on a lot of the developer course tracks. But one thing you should be aware of, as of the recording of this video, IBM is not included in Coursera Plus, but Microsoft, Google, and Meta are, so you'll still have plenty of options. Realistically, I think software engineering roles are going to be hard to land and are going to require much more work beyond just taking these course tracks if you do not have any prior experience. You'll need to have real-world projects and a portfolio to showcase. And even then, it's going to require a lot of diligent networking on your part to come across opportunities. Apart from that, of the careers here, the easiest one to break into would be the IT support specialist track because it tends to be an entry-level role and doesn't necessarily require any formal degree. If you complete this course track, you could pair it with a certification from CompTIA to give you a strong education background to qualify you for an entry-level role. Now, if we move to the business category, you'll see again a good variety here. And just about all of these are included with Coursera Plus. Again, check with each individual course track, but one to call out is business intelligence. That's a pretty good one because you'll get hands-on with some of the most widely used data visualization apps like Power BI and Tableau. Both of these I'd recommend taking because this will give you a skill set you can concretely put on a resume or your LinkedIn profile. And I believe there are also some credentials you can earn through Microsoft and Tableau directly for using these different applications. I'd say this is one of the most widely applicable skills, so it's useful to take either of these two just for the knowledge. But this is more along the lines of the data analyst track, which I'll talk about more in a bit. Outside of that, you've got plenty of options. In fact, there are some really interesting ones that are new to me that I'm seeing on Coursera. You've got real estate agent, which by the way, this is probably going to be one of the easier careers to get into. Again, like IT support specialist, it doesn't require a degree. Barrier to entry is fairly low. However, it would likely require you to get a real estate license. And although you see a median salary of $75,000 here, your success as a real estate agent is going to be very much dependent on the market that you're in. This is going to be primarily a sales job. So again, you would have to network quite a bit to make the right connections and get your name out there. It can be a very lucrative career, but it's certainly not a walk in the park. But again, the good news is it's easy to get into. Another career track I would say is relatively easy is bookkeeper. This is another track where you can find a lot of entry-level roles, and what's nice is that this is a hard skill. It's very detail oriented, and you may even find it to be the case that there are a lot of remote jobs for bookkeepers. These are jobs that you can do virtually. You don't have to be in an office necessarily. So that could afford you some good flexibility. Now let's look at sales and marketing. They offer more options, and most of these careers won't be much of a stretch to transition into. The skills are relatively easy and not complicated to learn, at least for the basics. And there are often entry-level roles for most of these. If I had to pick one of these, a sales development representative would be the easiest career to break into, as it does not typically require a degree, and there tends to be a pretty high need for salespeople. But if you find an opportunity with, say, a tech company that sells, say, software to other businesses, that is going to likely turn into a fairly lucrative career just in sales alone, but it also gives you options outside of sales, and having a sales background is very beneficial. It's a good foundation to understand what customers want and what kind of feedback you get about the product. So this will be a really good career to get your foot into the door to a lot of different companies. Now, one of my favorite fields is data science and analytics. You've got some really good options here, and I've actually done the Google Data Analytics track myself, which I would say, although I have had a good amount of experience in analytics, this is fantastic for beginners. And the other courses here are great options. However, if you have little to no experience as a data analyst, these are probably going to be the more difficult careers to break into, similar to software engineering and developer roles. So this is going to rely far more on real-world projects you can showcase and with networking with the right people. So I temper your short-term career expectations if you decide to narrow in on any of these tracks. But if you do, check out other learning platforms like DataCamp, where you can learn more, earn more credentials, take on projects to build a portfolio, and that's going to serve as a complement to what you do here. Now, combined with good networking, you'll eventually make your way into this career. Folks, let me know down in the comments below which of these careers you're most interested in and why. And if you want to know how Coursera has helped me in my career, make sure to check out this video next. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around.